My name is Marina, Elia, and for my capstone project, I volunteered at the mcLaren Hospitality House in Flint. My tasks included vacuuming every single carpet, wiping down bathrooms, cleaning out cabinets and drawers, and disinfecting every possible surface. Though I may have vacuumed for 4 hours straight for 4 days in a row, I couldn't complain because, as Peter said in chapter 4, verse 9, offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. The mcLaren Hospitality House was an $8 million project which opened in 2013, which initially worked with McLaren Hospital and strived to care for the families of cancer patients who were being treated at the neighboring proton therapy center. While McLaren Hospital focuses on the patients, latest technology, and intensive treatments, the Hospitality House includes a focus on providing support and resources to address the emotional, spiritual, and extended physical needs of said patients and their caregivers. The Hospitality House has 2 missions. 1, to create a healing, caring, and comfortable environment for patients and their caregivers, especially those who are traveling long distances for treatment, and 2, to provide comfortable extended stay housing at no cost. The Hospitality House features a large main seating area, kitchen, dining area, private dining room, pantry, fitness room, laundry room, toy and game room, and even outdoor seating to contribute to the comfort appeal that the house is so well known for.
A hospitality house, you didn't sleep there, you lived there. You had your kitchen, you had your own personal food, your own everything. And not only that, but you developed such a close relationship with everyone else that you were like you maybe got the whole family together and rented out a great big cabin and you went on a trip, and had a vacation together, and that's what it was kind of like. And you learn other people had the same problems that you had, and some had them worse, and it was just uplifting. It was uplifting to me to be able to help uplift someone else, and you don't get that at a motel.
My first thought was that I didn't want to be in a facility with a bunch of other people. I just thought, I want to be alone. But as soon as we visited there, everyone was so friendly and the place was so clean and so pleasant and bright that you immediately fell in love with it.
That's the first thing that we talked about when we heard that they were going to have the proton beam at mcLaren. Are you going to have a house? We thought that was almost more important than having the proton beam, and because it just stays with you. It's something that you don't ever forget.
To get more information about how the organization has helped people like this family, I interviewed a volunteer, as the coordinator and director were busy at a fundraising event. I'm just interested in learning more about the organization and how to help more. Do you have a specific example or anything that you might know of how this organization has helped someone specifically?
We had a lady that came here, a lot of people stay here long term for proton therapy, and she stayed here for 3 months, I want to say. But we started to do different activities to get them involved and make it feel more homey and do something to help them pass the time and stuff. And we had this stocking decorating event that we did, and she came and she was just saying how she was just really appreciative when she left because she's no longer staying here anymore. But she was just saying how appreciative she was and how the place really did help her through the process and everything.
Do you know where most of your funding comes from?
Fundraising mostly, and then we do ask for donations for the rooms, so that's kind of all goes back into the house.
In your opinion, what do you think is what would make the greatest difference in helping the organization get better at what it does?
I would say volunteering and just helping, because we do have volunteers that come from the auxiliary center, but they're usually older, so they can't do as much.
Since the Hospitality House had recently remodeled the entire building, I knew that money and more tacky fundraising events wasn't what they needed. Her mention of the need for organization and more volunteers stuck out to me, so I decided that what they could really use was a monthly chore list and volunteering incentives to attract more people our age. Incentivizing volunteer efforts would be a good start, but I believe that people would come back to help out naturally due to the joy that comes with seeing the effects of sacrificing something as precious as time, much like the jailer in Acts chapter 16, verses 33 to 34. The theme of Catholic social teaching that my area of work at the house best reflects is option for the poor and vulnerable. Those who are going through long times of hardship due to a loved one being very sick at mcLaren Hospital is vulnerable, not necessarily poor. As mentioned in our Catholic social teaching notes, the option for the poor asks everyone to realize the plight of those who struggle to survive and to put the needs of the most vulnerable members of society ahead of individual selfish interests, which can be strongly associated with the hospitality house as their services are above average and ask for no money in return. Not only are the family members of patients catered to in the house, but also surgeons working late nights on call and any employees during dangerous weather. Even my mom has stayed there for several nights in a row due to hazardous road conditions. The values that the house and its volunteers demonstrate are listed in Titus chapter 1 verse 8. Those who are hospitable are self-controlled, upright, holy, and disciplined. As the patron saint of hospitality, St. Julian would also be the patron saint of the mcLaren Hospitality House. His story starts with a vision of himself murdering his parents while out hunting one day. He was terrified of the idea, so he ran as far away from his family as possible and came into the service of a king, where he eventually married a wealthy widow and became a knight. He went out hunting, leaving his wife in the castle behind. While he was gone, his parents, who had been searching for him for many years, came upon the castle, and Julian's wife allowed them to stay in their personal bedroom for the night. When Julian came back, it was very early in the morning, so when he saw people in his bed, he immediately assumed it was his wife being unfaithful and killed both of his parents with his sword without realizing. After many years of being hospitable and caring for sick travelers and their partners, a messenger from God came to Julian and told him that his penance was over. To put everything together, my two proposals are simple. Have volunteers put together a monthly chore list that includes each major task they carry out, integrating some element of organization that it currently lacks. Then, to attract more capable volunteers, some initial incentives should be put into place. The house could host interactive events such as cooking championships, where students from across Genesee County compete while entertaining current occupants of the house and themselves. After students are introduced to the house, schools can make a certain portion of required service hours dedicated to the house. I hope that these proposals influence the house for the better and that people find the good in helping those suffering from expensive medical finances and the stress and grief from having sick loved ones. Thank you for listening and to the house for all the good that they've done and continue to do. Thank you.